What is up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to cover a full day of eating, our grocery haul, and I wanted to start it off with a chit chat about some of the mindset shifts I've had over the past few years in order to achieve my fitness goals. As always, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. I just want to cover a few of the things that have helped me on my fitness journey to achieve my goals. I am currently 9 weeks out from my 6th WBFF show. It's not my first rodeo. No one else can do the work for me in order to get me in the best shape of my life come show day. It's all on me, and that requires a significant amount of willpower, discipline, and just focus. The first thing I want to say is when I started out, I was so focused on getting results right now. I tried detox teas, I tried shake diets, I tried cutting out carbs, I tried only eating clean, and all these things lead me to be really restricted Monday to Friday and then going crazy in the weekend having cheat meals, which turned into cheat days, which turned into a whole weekend of me being like, you know what, diet starts on Monday. And this was an ongoing cycle for so long. Anyone that promises you some kind of a quick fix to get you results fast will either heavily restrict you, or they're going to get you results immediately and you're then going to go the complete opposite way later on because you can't adhere to it because it's so restricted and not sustainable. Or the third thing with that is you're never going to get results to begin with and you just waste your money and time on nothing. Quick fixes, they don't work, they're not long-term sustainable. So the first thing I'm going to say is instead of worrying about getting results right now, let's focus on heading into number 2, which is looking to change your lifestyle as opposed to starting a diet. So what do I mean by this? Well, if we think of diet, it usually has like a start date and an end date. But what happens after you finish the diet? You go back to what you were doing before, right? And so you're going to get the same results that you've always had. Instead of seeing things as like a start and an end date, why don't we look at what we're currently doing in order to start building healthy habits that we can continue for a long period of time? So instead of having these really extreme rules where you're like, look, I'm not going to eat any Nutella, I'm not going to eat cookies, I'm not going to eat all these foods that I love, I'm just going to be super strict for 8 weeks and then go back to what I was doing before and gain the weight back. We don't want to do that. How about we set ourselves some standards as to what we do? So maybe it's that you include protein with most of your meals throughout the day. Maybe it's that you try and incorporate more vegetables and fruit, that you space your meals out across the day and you have these kind of guidelines that you follow. If you're brand new to your fitness journey, it's going to be super overwhelming to try and change everything at once. Start small. Maybe it's that you're going to start walking more. So you set a step goal of maybe 8,000 steps a day. You decide to carry your water bottle with you everywhere you go, so you drink more water. And maybe you say, you know what, I'm going to start going to bed a little bit earlier and waking up earlier. Find some small things that you can change and implement into your lifestyle instead of trying to eliminate all the foods that you love and go all in on one thing that you can't even sustain long term. We really want to set a good standard that we can continue ongoing. For me, that looks like, you know, making sure that I get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, making sure that I'm hitting my protein every single day, making sure that I move my body in some way or another, whether it's doing a weighted workout, maybe it's going for a walk outside, maybe it's jumping on the bike in the gym and doing that for 15 to 20 minutes. I personally really enjoy moving my body, and that's what makes me feel good. That's how I like to start my day, even on rest days. Number 3, when it comes to nutrition and things like that, I really want you to build an abundance mindset. This took me a while, especially after the first few competition preps I did, because my first prep in 2017 was super restricted. There was no flexible dieting. It was all about clean eating and following a 1-page meal plan pretty much for 16 weeks. I had this idea after comp of like, oh my gosh, I've got to eat all this food. Like I haven't eaten all these foods that I love for 16 weeks. And that just kept going for months and months. And not only did I gain the weight back that I lost during the prep, I even gained more weight because I just could not rein in my eating. I just had this idea that the food was all instantly going to disappear and that now is the time I had to eat it all. And I did not have an abundance mindset. And this took me a while to, I guess, build up. But something I want you to take away from this is food is always going to be there. And just because something is free doesn't mean you have to eat it. So what does this apply to? If you're going to a birthday party, if you have an office lunch party for someone and there's sausage rolls, there's cakes, there's all this food there, the food's not going to go anywhere. The food is not suddenly not going to be there in a few months' time when it's someone else's birthday. You know, you do not have to go absolutely crazy on food that's in front of you. One, because it's there, two, because it's free. You know, this kind of mindset shift for me has been a really big game changer. I used to always see family dinners or events as like, oh my God, all this food, I've got to eat it all. And you'd find me by the snack table every single time. You know, like I'd always be near the table. So I think it's super important to realize, like, short term, yes, that food's sitting right there and you might want to have it, but long term, what do you really want? I think so many people have this perspective of like, oh, you're depriving yourself if you don't eat the food right then and there. But in reality, you're not depriving yourself by not eating the food. You're choosing not to eat that food so that you can have what you really want long term. So really, by eating that food, you're depriving yourself of your goals. If you have a goal to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds, or to, you know, fit your wedding dress, or to feel really confident in anything that you wear, and then every single day you're going against that, that's actually depriving yourself from what you really want. A mindset shift from the food's going to go somewhere and having an abundance mindset with that food is a big shift. But so is recognizing that choosing not to eat certain foods or not to eat a lot of certain foods and to have more moderation and control around that isn't depriving yourself. It's actually supporting yourself with what you want long term. There's a few things to take from this. Have an abundance mindset. Understand that you're not depriving yourself by choosing not to eat certain foods. And 3, recognize that it's simply that you are choosing not to eat the certain food. So this leads into number 4. It is not that you can't have something, it's that you don't want that thing. If you are out for drinks with your friends or dinner with your friends and they say like, oh, you know, do you want a drink, an alcoholic drink? Instead of saying, I can't have that, I'm on a diet, it's no thank you, I don't want one. Super simple. There's no need for you to explain yourself. If you don't want to have cake in the office, if you don't want to have an alcoholic drink when you're out with your friends, you don't need to explain yourself any further than no thank you, I don't want that. Saying things like, I can't have that, I'm on a diet, it just leaves it open to so many people having their opinions on you and how you look. Usually in the past I would say something like, oh, you know what, I can't have that. And they say, oh, but you know, just one piece, it's not going to kill you, like have it, you don't need a diet, you don't need to lose weight. And everyone's going to project their own feelings onto you. It is your life, it's your goals. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone else. You just need to know what is going to help you achieve your goals and then to stick by the decision that you make. So if you don't want to have cake in the office room every single lunchtime, just say that you don't want it and then stand by your word and stand by your goals. Number 5, it's kind of connected to number 1 when it comes to short-term fixes and kind of looking for results right now. Something that I noticed is I would kind of think when I started out like, oh, you know, it's going to take me so long to lose 5 kilos. But what's the alternative? Like, say it takes me 10 weeks to lose 5 kilos if I'm really consistent and I lose half a kilo a week. Well, in 10 weeks time, I could either be closer to that goal or I could be in the same place that I am right now, or I could be on the complete opposite and be further away because I end up going the opposite direction. The time is going to pass anyway. You may as well be taking steps closer to your goals. For someone that has, you know, 40 or 50 pounds to lose, it could be super overwhelming to think, oh my gosh, it's going to take me so long to lose all this weight. Well, what's the alternative? Like, the time's going to pass anyway. So wouldn't you rather be focusing on the day ahead and what you can do with this current day in order to take you closer to that goal, regardless of how long it's going to take you? Exactly. So instead of focusing on how long something's going to take you, just focus on what you can do right now that's going to take you closer to your goals. I really like the idea of doing something today your future self will thank you for. Number 6, motivation versus discipline. I have spoken a lot about this, and Ross and I actually have a full podcast on how you can build up discipline because it is a learned behavior. But in short, I just wanted to remind you that discipline will always win over motivation. No one is motivated 24/7. Even myself at 10 weeks out from comp, I didn't want to train upper body the other day, but I had no choice, so I got it done. If we always rely on motivation to get us through whatever it is that we want to achieve, we're never going to achieve anything because no one's motivated all the time. And what sets people apart from those that will actually achieve their goals and those that will never achieve their goals is the ones that achieve their goals will do the work even when they don't want to. There will be many times, whether it's in your job, in a relationship, on a competition prep journey, on a fat loss journey, on a build muscle journey, where you just simply don't want to do something, but it's going to be your discipline that you build and you practice building that will get you through doing it even when you don't want to. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, but I'm not motivated to go to the gym, I'm not motivated to eat right, well, it doesn't even matter how you feel. It's going to come down to you understanding what your goal is, understanding why you want to achieve it, having a proper plan in place, and then taking action each day even when you don't want to. Because if you're constantly just waiting, for the right time or waiting till you feel good, you're just not going to get there. And that's something I had to come to terms with when I started out too. I thought I needed to be motivated to eat right or to work out, but you can listen to a motivational speech and feel really pumped up and excited for the day ahead, but then an hour later, that motivation's faded and suddenly you don't want to stick to your meal prep when your friends are going out for lunch or whatever. Just really recognize that no one is motivated all the time. You're totally normal for not feeling motivated 24/7, but it's going to take a lot of practice for you to build up your discipline in order to get stuff done even when you don't feel like it. Number 7, comparison. Switching my mind off from comparing where I was on my journey to other people's was a big thing for me, and I know it is for a lot of the Anjuli Fit Squad. One of my favorite quotes is, comparison is the thief of all joy, and you've probably heard me say this many times before. In short, comparing yourself to anyone else, whether it's how you look, where you are on your fitness journey, your house, your car, your relationship, your job, is never going to leave you feeling happy and content with yourself. I could look at so many other competitors in the WBFF that are absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. Their body shapes are phenomenal. I could get so caught up in thinking like, oh, this person looks better than me, that person looks better than me, why don't I have glutes like that, blah 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 blah. The list goes on, and I could ruminate on those thoughts day in and day out, but that is not going to serve me. It's not going to serve anyone who is looking at what other people are doing. You don't know their story, you don't know what they've overcome, you don't know their genetics or anything at all about them, to be honest, especially if you're comparing yourself to others on social media. Instead of that, focus on yourself, how far you've come, what you can do today to take you close to your goals, and just focus on you and the actions that you are taking. That's all you can do. And when it comes to competing, at the end of the day, it is you versus you, because you can't control who shows up on that stage on the day. You can't control who the judges like. It's a subjective sport in which they are literally comparing people side by side, and at the end of the day, it comes down to who the judges like. So you have to be enough for yourself, and you have to step up on that stage knowing that you gave it everything you could and that you're proud of yourself. And that applies in a competing journey and outside of a competing journey. The only one's opinion that actually matters is your own. Are you doing things each day that make you feel good from the inside out? Because like I've said many times before, confidence does not come from a number on the scale or the size of your clothing. Confidence comes from taking actions each day that align to your goals. So for me, in order to feel confident in 9 weeks time on the WBFF stage, I know that each and every day from now on, I need to be tracking my macros, I need to be doing my sessions, I need to be doing posing every single day. Those things, taking those actions are what's going to build my confidence so that when I step on that stage, I know I gave it my best shot and I can shine up there regardless of anything else. Stop comparing yourself to strangers' highlight reels on social media. If you find that you're comparing yourself to others, that you're feeling some kind of jealousy about whatever it is, reflect on why you might be having those feelings, and maybe it's time for you to have a little social media detox. You know, unfollow accounts that don't add value to you or that don't help you feel better from the inside out. Really be in tune with what you're thinking about each and every day and just focus on yourself, because that's what matters. Whew, that was a big chit chat. I hope that helps you kind of understand some of the mindset shifts that I've gone through on my fitness journey, and that maybe some of these appeal to you that you might want to try and implement. Let me know in the comments if any of those kind of resonate with you. I'd love to hear from you and we can chit chat there. But let's get into my full day of eating. Last night I decided to prepare a chia Weet-Bix yogurt. Oh my gosh, this was delicious. Super simple. I got some passion fruit chobani yogurt and I mixed it up with some chia seed, and then I layered it in a glass with some Weet-Bix. All I do is add some water or almond milk to my Weet-Bix. You could also add some sweetener if you like, and then I put it in the fridge overnight so that in the morning I could have it post-workout and just get that kind of thick cheesecake texture. Delicious. For my morning snack, I am obsessed with making this yogurt bark. So I saw it on TikTok or Instagram and it was pretty much just like yogurt with berries set on it, but I like to do something a little bit different. So I decided to use some yogurt mixed up with some white chocolate Mack like drinking chocolate powder. You could use a protein powder if you want. And then I crumbed up some Oreos on top. Then I mixed up some coconut oil with the brand new Mack kind of chocolate nut butter spread and just drizzled it over top. Put it in the freezer so that it would set nice and hard into like a yogurt bar. Okay, so I have to say I have definitely outdone myself with this. Oh my gosh, it is delicious. Okay, let's do a full grocery haul today. 14 apples to stew, some orange kumara, red kumara, onions, cucumber, kiwi fruit. I get about 14 a day for Ross. Some carrots, some low potatoes, canned corn was on sale. I got some bananas to make some smoothies with, some almonds, 2 avocados, some mushrooms, tomatoes, rolled oats, 2 bags of Riceys for Ross's pre-workout, some coffee, Sprite Zero, all brand, crumpets for my pre-workout, some English muffins for some recipes this week. I got unsweetened coconut almond milk as well as almond unsweetened, brioche buns, honey for my pre-workout crumpets, a couple of different chocolate bars, some Vita Fresh, some Jelly Light. This is kind of like the treat section. I got some maple syrup, the sugar-free one I absolutely love. And then I got some white wraps. I also got a couple of different seasonings to try on the apple, sugar-free drinking chocolate for some other recipes this week. And over here we have our cold section. So I've got some vanilla chobani, egg whites, light milk for Ross. I also got some light cream cheese, light cottage cheese for some recipe videos I'm filming this week, as well as mozzarella grated cheese and chicken rashers for some other videos. And these were on sale, so I thought I'd get some. I absolutely used to love them. For lunch, I decided to have some taco boats filled with vegetables, shredded chicken, and cheese. Of course, using some egg to bind it all together. Usually I just do eggs or egg white, but I wanted to have some extra protein. So I shredded up some chicken that was cooked in the air fryer and then put it all in the oven to bake through. And I thought, you know what, the oven's on, I may as well make some Mack cookies. And I actually, for the first time, was able to split them into the perfect portions that are actually written on the back of the pack. So one pack should make 12 cookies, and these were just the cutest little buttons. So I ended up having a couple of those after lunch as well for my kind of afternoon sweet treat. The texture of these protein cookies is more like a fudge one as opposed to a really dry one, which I quite enjoy. So I'll usually portion them up into a Tupperware and then put them in the freezer so that I can have them as little snacks throughout the week. Rude, I forgot to show you what the taco boats actually look like once I took them out the oven. I got distracted by the cookies, but anyway, this is what they look like, and oh my gosh, they are perfect. And then of course, I am still obsessed with potatoes. I feel like this is not a food phase for me, it's just a lifestyle. I absolutely love potato in the air fryer. So I chopped up some potatoes, put it in the air fryer, sprinkled it with garlic and herbs, salt, and then of course just served it with some 50% less sugar ketchup. Dinners for myself and Ross are usually very simple. It's just so easy for us to use the air fryer to like cook everything. But anyway, I saved some of my potatoes from my afternoon snack to actually cook in the air fryer with my chicken for dinner. So I pan fried some vegetables. While I was cooking those, I also stewed some apple. All I do for my stewed apple is just do it with some water and some cinnamon, and then I portion it out for the week for both Ross and I. And then dinner was super simple: garlic and herb chicken, the stir-fried veg, and then some potato. Finishing up my day with a sugar-free hot chocolate on the couch with Ross coloring in, watching Netflix. Super easy, nice relaxing evening. Okay, that wraps up my full day of eating, grocery haul, and chit chat for today. As always, if you have any questions or video suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. It means so much that you take time out of your day to tune into my videos. I hope that you enjoyed today's one, and I'll catch you in the next one.